How to fix invisible mouse cursor in full screen mode. Welcome back to Teknobalta. Today, we are tackling a highly frustrating issue where your mouse cursor completely disappears when entering a game in full screen mode. Our team analyzed this exact behavior across various titles, particularly older source engine releases like Portal and Half-Life 2, as well as mainstream hits like Grand Theft Auto V, Grand Theft Auto Vice City Definitive Edition, and Minecraft. Through extensive testing, we have compiled a definitive list of solutions to restore your cursor visibility permanently. Let us dive into the technical troubleshooting steps to get your system back on track. First, we need to address the display mode directly within the game's visual parameters. We discovered that switching the game from exclusive full screen to windowed full screen mode often forces the operating system to render the cursor correctly. Navigate to your game's video settings and alter the display mode to see if the hardware cursor reappears. If you are locked in full screen without a cursor, a simple desktop interrupt can sometimes reinitialize the rendering sequence. Try pressing Alt and Tab simultaneously to switch back to the desktop, and then click back into the game window. This quick refresh forces the graphics application programming interface to reload the interface overlay, which can frequently restore the missing pointer. Our analysis showed that many older game executables struggle with modern Windows operating system environments. To fix this, locate the main executable file of the problematic game in your installation folder. Right-click this file and select Properties from the context menu to access the core system behavioral settings. Inside the Properties window, navigate directly to the Compatibility tab to adjust legacy support features. We confirmed that checking the box for Run this program in compatibility mode for and selecting Windows XP Service Pack 2 is a highly effective fix. Click Apply and OK to save this configuration before launching the game again. While in the Compatibility tab, you should also disable modern screen scaling overrides that interfere with older rendering engines. Click on Change High DPI Settings and check the box at the bottom to override high DPI scaling behavior. Set this drop-down menu to Application to prevent Windows from resizing the invisible mouse boundaries. Another critical setting within the Compatibility tab is the Disable Full Screen Optimizations checkbox. Checking this box prevents Windows from overlaying its modern gaming features on top of the application. We highly recommend enabling this setting for any title struggling with display priority conflicts. During our testing, we identified third-party virtual display software as a major culprit for cursor disappearance. Applications like SpaceDesk, which turn mobile devices into secondary monitors, actively intercept display signals and hide the primary cursor. We strongly advise completely uninstalling these types of screen-sharing applications if you are experiencing this issue. Physical multi-monitor setups can also cause the mouse coordinate system to drift out of bounds on older engines. Disconnect any secondary monitors from your graphics card temporarily to isolate the display output. Launch the game on a single primary monitor to verify if the cursor correctly centers and renders. Windows includes a specific feature designed to improve windowed gaming performance, but it can severely bug out older titles. Press the Windows key, type Graphics Settings, and open the System menu to access these advanced rendering options. This interface controls how the operating system handles display latency and overlays. Inside the Graphics Settings menu, look for the toggle labeled Optimizations for Windowed Games. We verified that turning this feature completely off resolves the invisible cursor bug in many specific scenarios. Reboot your computer after flipping this switch to ensure the registry changes apply correctly. Surprisingly, custom desktop aesthetics can interfere with how exclusive full-screen applications draw the mouse. We suggest right-clicking your desktop, selecting Personalize, and navigating to the Themes section. Reverting to a standard, default Windows theme can instantly clear up rendering conflicts, causing the invisible cursor. The default Windows mouse settings contain legacy options that frequently break in-game overlays. Open the Legacy Control panel, search for Mouse, and open the Pointer Options tab to inspect your current configuration. Ensure that Display Pointer Trails is completely unchecked, as this visual effect constantly breaks hardware cursor rendering in video games. In that same Pointer Options menu, locate the setting called Hide Pointer while typing. Disable this checkbox immediately. Many games register constant background inputs that trick the operating system into thinking you are typing, thereby hiding your mouse permanently during gameplay. Background application overlays are notorious for hijacking the top rendering layer of your screen. Open applications like Discord, GeForce Experience, or AMD Adrenalin, and navigate to their respective settings menus. You must systematically disable the in-game overlay features for all of these background utilities. For Steam users, the native Steam overlay can also conflict with legacy game cursors, especially in classic Valve titles. Right-click the problematic game in your Steam library and select Properties. In the General tab, toggle off the switch for Enable the Steam overlay while in-game to prevent this interaction. Corrupted configuration files can permanently save a bugged cursor state within the game's internal data. Navigate to your Documents folder or the App Data directory to find the specific configuration files for your game. Deleting these temporary setting files forces the game to generate fresh, default visual parameters upon the next launch. Game launch arguments can be utilized to force a safe boot environment that bypasses full-screen bugs. In platforms like Steam or Epic Games, look for the Launch Options text box in the game properties. Typing the command windowed noborder will force the application to start in a borderless state where the system cursor is guaranteed to work. Hardware acceleration features within standalone game launchers can also create display output anomalies. Open your primary gaming client settings and disable any toggles related to hardware acceleration or GPU rendering. This offloads the interface processing back to the central processing unit, which is often much more stable. Sometimes, your mouse peripheral itself is desynchronized from the USB polling rate expected by the game engine. Unplug your gaming mouse from its current USB port and plug it directly into a USB 2.0 port on the back of your motherboard. This forces the device driver to reinitialize and establish a fresh connection with the operating system. Finally, verify if the game has an internal option specifically titled Hardware Cursor in its control or video settings. Toggling this internal setting completely changes how the game processes mouse inputs. Switching it on or off will immediately reveal if the engine itself or the operating system is failing to draw the pointer. As a universal system health tip, we highly recommend keeping your graphics drivers fully up to date to prevent overlay issues from occurring. Navigate to the official NVIDIA, AMD, or Intel website to download the latest dedicated software package for your specific graphics card model. Performing a clean installation of these drivers will flush out old, corrupted registry keys that frequently cause display anomalies. Additionally, running a system integrity check can repair broken core Windows files responsible for input peripheral management. Open the command prompt as an administrator and type the command sfc/scano to initiate a deep system scan. Allow the process to reach 100%, and Windows will automatically replace any damaged core files that might be disrupting your mouse visibility. Don't forget to follow Teknobalta for more.